What's up, everyone? Welcome back to part two. As you can see, I look exactly the same because I'm doing it right away. But we're going to get into this. Like I said, this gigantic stack of Wolverine. Oh, my lord. Woo! One guy I went to, like I said, I went to him, and he, we were talking about stuff. We were talking about this particular series. The wife found it. She's like, "Oh, look, I found a Wolverine." Because I was like, "Do you have any Wolverines?" You know, and I was like, "Do you have any Darkhawks?" Couldn't find any Darkhawks anywhere. He's like, "Yeah, I think I got Wolverine somewhere." He's like, "I don't know where though." And the wife was looking. She's like, "I found one." And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "That's first class." I'm like, "Oh wait, which one was that one?" Wolverine First Class. And like I was missing quite a few books, and I'm like, I really wanted to get the full run of that because it only went to 21 issues. And she found this. She's like, "Oh," she's looking. I was like, "All right." So I got Wolverine First Class #3 for $1. Like I said, $1 a piece. And I was like, yes. And the guy we were talking, he's like, I love that series. Like, it was amazing. I'm like, it really was. I was like, I really enjoyed it. And he's like, you're getting a great deal on those. Like, they're in great shape. And it's funny because, let me move up. Sorry. It's funny because on his sign, it was originally he had like $5 a piece, and then it was crossed out. Then it was $3 a piece. It was crossed out. And like I said, I got these on the last day of the Comic Con. Like I said, I always tell people, I was like, that's the best time to try to go after comics. The only thing that sucks about it is that when you do that, you're not getting the cherry pick kind of thing. Like you're not getting first run. Like you're getting what's left over. But then you usually get the best deals. So like I said, this was Sunday. He was charged instead of $5 a piece, $3 a piece. He was charging $1 a piece. So I got that one, #3. I got number 11. I got number 12. Like I said, some of them have bags of boards, some of them didn't, but they're still in great shape considering. Number 13. Like some of the ones I got, I was amazed they were in such good shape without the bags and the boards. Number 14. Number 15. Number 16. Number 17. And last but not least on that, number 19. Now it's like, oh, he did have other ones, but I had them already. So now with these ones here, I have the complete run of Wolverine First Class. So it was like, I think like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books. Got them all for $1 a piece. So I spent $9 on that, which actually, I'll get into it. It was actually, he had 20 for 20. That's what I did. I bought 28 books from him, but it's still worth it because considering these are usually $3 a piece online and then shipping, made a huge deal. I got from the same guy. I got Savage Wolverine number 18 and number 19. And now this was I can't remember volume this. I don't think this is volume 3 or volume 4, but Wolverine number 3 from that thing. It's the one I needed. I'm like, I need that one. For the Marvel Knights thing or whatever volume that was, like I have it written down. I just can't remember. I got number 21, which is the Enemy of the State. And I got number 23, which is what I needed. I got them filled out. So that's that. Very cool. Now moving on. This is from a different seller, but I still got a good deal on these. Which I was kicking myself on one of them because I found it cheaper after I bought it. I was like, oh, you bastard. But, yeah, let me show you. This is from another seller. These were half of what they were. So this guy had this down for $6, but it was in really, really great shape. So I only paid $3. It's Wolverine number 2 from Volume 2. I mean, $3 is still a pretty damn good deal on that one. And this is in like near mint shape. I was like, wow. So I was happy with that. I got again. I got this for I think this is $1.50 or something like that. I think he gave it for me for $1, so I wasn't too pissed. Wolverine number 3. And I'm trying to keep them in some order because I had them in order. I'm like, all right. This one. Oh, this is the other one. Well, got this one for $1. Wolverine number 6. This is from a different guy though. It's kind of cool how on the back they got that. It's pretty cool. And this was from the other guy. Like I said, I think I got this for $1 too. Number 9. Which, even if I paid the $3, it was still worth it considering like how much money the Wolverine Volume 2 books are going for nowadays. So there's that. And then these I got $1 a piece from the one seller too. Wolverine number 11. Number 12. Number 13. I did like, so I got such a huge chunk taken care of in my Wolverine stuff. Number 14. And like I said, for a buck a piece, you cannot beat that. Number 15. I mean, some of them are kind of rough, but most of them aren't. Like, some of them have like a little ding here and there. Number 16. Number 18. Number 20. Number 21. 22. Number 24. 26. 28. Number 30. Like I said, there's a lot. There's a lot of Wolverine. I mean, the wife was like, she's like, I'd rather have you, because I was like spending, I'm looking, I'm like, oh my god, it's going to be a fortune. And she's like, I'd rather have you buy them and get that many for the price you're paying, than have to buy them for much more and have them shipped and all that stuff. So she wasn't pissed with the amount of money I spent, which I did get a deal on these too, which I'm going to tell you about. But she's like, just get them. And I was like, wow, I was like, this is like a nice chunk of what I'm missing. I'll tell you about that later. Wolverine number 38. Number 43. And yes, I have them in order for once. Number 53. Number 65. Trying to grab a few of them. Number 67. 68. Number 69. If you can hear that, that's Seamus snoring. Number 70. 71. 72. With the Sentinels. 73. Sorry for the glare, Alex, I'm trying. 74. And this one I already had, but mine was in rough shape, so I actually gave it to a friend of mine. I'm like, you can have it. But I got a better copy for $1. Number 75, which is less than the actual cover price. Cover price was $3.95. And like I said, mine I had when I was kind of still starting, in a way, like I didn't have any bags of boards, and it got ruined. But you see it's got the hologram through a Wolverine, if you can't really see it. But it's a Wolverine hologram. So I got a much better shape one. Much better shape. Better shape version for $1. You know, no dings or anything. I was like, wow, okay. Yeah. Excuse me. Number 76. Number 81. And 82. Number 86. Which was 87. Gotta see it. 89. There we go, number 89. This one is 97. This one's in amazing shape considering where it was. Like I said, they were just kind of thrown in there, and I was like, wow. Number 112. Number 115. Number 120. I basically bought every Wolverine this guy had. Number 127, which even though it has a $2 price tag, it was still $1. And last but not least, like I said, I'll talk about it, number 151. Now, he did have other Wolverines, like, but pretty much all the other ones he had, I already had, so I was like, I'm not, getting them. But, like, I literally, I mean, Jesus. You saw the stack. I mean, I basically paid, for all the comic, I think I paid, like, $70 or something like that. I think he wanted, like, originally, I think it was, like, 80-something or 90-something. He's like, just give me 70, and I'm like, okay. Here you go. I don't think he even counted it, so I don't know. Maybe I got ripped off. I don't think I did, but for $1 a piece, hey. It's not bad. And I was like, that is amazing. Like I looked at it like when I was looking through my book to check stuff off. I'm like, wow, oh my god, I just took a nice chunk out of the thing, and that's the best time to do it. If you can find the stuff like that you're looking for in the dollar box, that is the best time. Like that's why I'm like glad. I'm like I saved some money. I'm like I got. I went with a lot less than I normally go with, but I was like, you know what? And the wife's like, I was like, maybe we should save it. She's like, no. She's like, spend it. She's like, get the books. She goes, like, I know how expensive they are if you go to the store. And like I said, a couple of these, like especially that Wolverine number 75 is like $6 minimum at a comic book store. And I got it for $1. So it's just like, wow. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't get any Spider-Mans. There was nothing in the Spider-Man stuff that was worth it. Um, there was tons of amazing Spider-Man books, that's for sure. But the prices for them, because like my friend's like, oh, I know you're a Spider-Man. Why didn't you get a Spider-Man? I was like, because they're too expensive. I was like, they're so far out there. I mean, one book, I think the one of the ones I was looking for was number 610 of Amazing Spider-Man, and a guy wanted $40 for it, and I was like, what? I was like, that's a little insane. Um, and I guess maybe because I'm getting old, I just don't care anymore. Like I was telling people, I'm like, that's really high priced. And the guy's like, oh well, if you could find a better deal, I'd buy it. I'm like, I will. And I just kind of walked away. And my friends were like, wow. I was like, I don't know. I just don't really care. I was like, I know they're in it to make the money, but I mean, sometimes it was a lot of overkill, which I know they rack it up because a lot of times people negotiate. But I wasn't even bothering. I'm like, you know what? I was like, what is the guy gonna do? I was like, if he even gave $20 off $20 for a 610, that's insane. I was like, I can get off Midtown Comics for $5. I was like, and then like $3 shipping. I was like, so right there. So yeah, I was kind of like, and then like I said, I was showing my friend Andrew, I was kind of showing him stuff. He got some great comics. He got the first Taskmaster, I think for like $20, something like that. He got a couple of X-Men's second appearance of Gambit for $1. I had shown him. I was like, that's like the second appearance of Gambit. I was like, I'd get that. He's like, how much is it? Like, it's $1. He's like, all right. Yeah. He's like, I'll get it. So he was happy with that. He got the first appearance of Nimrod for $1. He got a lot of good ones. I'm like, yeah, I already have them. I was like, he's like, you don't want them? I'm like, no, man. I was like, I already have it. I was like, get it. I was like, it's really cheap. I was like, that's a great price. I was like, get them. So I was pointing out, I was like, oh, you should get that. That's a cheap one. That's a good one. He got the first appearance of Bishop for $3. The second appearance, I think or technically the first appearance of Domino for $3. I'm like, yeah, I'll get that. I was like, $3. I didn't buy it, and I was like, crap. I was like, I should have got one because mine's kind of rough. And I was like, ugh. And then when I went back, they were gone. I was like, oh my god, because the guy had like a stack of them. I was like, get them, man. And so he picked them up, and then like I went back, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll grab a few. And they were gone. I was like, oh well, what can you do? I already have them, One thing I saw that was really expensive that people were going insane over was the first appearance of Carnage. Was it number 361 Amazing Spider-Man? The cheapest I saw it was $45. And I was looking, I was like, wow. One guy had a 9.80, wanted $500. One guy had one signed by Stan Lee. He wanted $5,000. I'm like, are you out of your mind? I was like, $5,000. I was like, he didn't even, like, not for nothing. I was like, but it's kind of makes more sense to have a book that's done by Stan Lee than one that isn't. But I guess just his signature alone, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, it was nuts. Like, cause my friend was looking. He's like, "Oh, I really want to get that one." I was like, I don't know, man. That's expensive. There was a second printing one that was like, I think like $60, and I'm like, so he's like, all right, And then we had found. I don't think you'll mind if I tell you a story. We had found an Amazing Spider-Man 300 because he was looking for that. I was like, you're gonna spend through the nose to find that. And the guy where I got all these Wolverines from was selling it for $30. And he's like, it's $30. I'm like, I was like, no. I was like, there's something wrong. I was like, there has to be something wrong. I was like, no one's selling that for $30. I was like, something's wrong. He's like, I don't know. He's like, let me look at it. The guy didn't say anything. I guess he was maybe trying to play smart. And he's like, will you look at it? I look at it. I was like, dude, this thing's wrecked. He's like, well, I was like, it had whiteout across the eye, like where Wolverine, where Spider-Man's eye, like the white eye patch, had like a big blotch of whiteout. And then on the top, it had like all this miscoloring, like it was like inked in. It was like, it was pretty rough. And I was like, well, and I asked, he's like, I really want to get it. I was like, yeah. I was like, if you want a good copy, yeah. I was like, if you're buying it to try to sell it, it's not worth it. I was like, because you're going to have a hard time selling this. I was like, that's why this guy's selling it for $30. I was like, but if you're buying it because you want to have it in your collection and you want to have it and you want to read it, I was like, that's a different story. I was like, if you think $30 is a good price to you, then go ahead. I was like, I don't think it's bad. I was like, considering, I was like, but you can notice that on the cover, like the eye patch. I'm like, you can notice that. Um, there was stuff like written on it. I was like, it's a rough copy. I was like, it's a reader copy basically. He's like, what's that? I was like, that's basically a comic that's kind of wrecked to the point where it's just you don't mind reading it, but you're not going to get any real value out of it, other than the value of having it. So he's like, He's like, no. He's like, it's not really. I was like, if you want to get it to have a nice copy, I was like, you're gonna spend a lot of money. I was like, it's a pretty good thing to have. Like I said, I kept going, talking about it. I was like, 'cause I wasn't trying to convince him into buying it. I was just trying to give him all the facts. So he's like, I'm not gonna get it. And we went back and it was gone. I was like, well, it happens. I was like, you're better off getting maybe a better copy of it. And if you ever have to sell it down the line, you actually will be able to sell it. So he wasn't pissed. He was like, all right, it's no big deal. He's like, it happens. It's how it goes. But that's pretty much it. I mean, there's not really much other than that. I mean, I don't have anything else coming from eBay. I don't have any shipments coming around. I'll throw the house thing in here. We have our fingers crossed because this house hunting has been kicking our ass. I know people are asking, like, when are you moving, when are you doing this, when are you doing that. Our lease is up in the end of January, so we're probably going to be where we are now at the end of January. Unfortunately, we don't know where we're going to be after that because there's a whole bunch of things going on. We've been looking at houses nonstop, like even at the convention. Like I had to go to the house before I went to the convention. We went to the convention. We went to house hunting after the convention. I mean, I'm surprised I'm not like dead right now because I'm like I'm so exhausted from the past 3 days of looking at houses, going to like everything combined into one. I was just like, and then I felt like I was getting sick. Like I thought I was getting the con cough because I was like, And of course, they made us wait out in the cold at the convention longer than they needed to. He's like, "Oh, we're not ready." Like, it was supposed to open at 10. Like, we're not ready. It was like 10:30. Like, "Oh, we're finally ready." It's like, you bastards. So there was that. Sorry. And, it's just looking at house after house. They start to blend together after a while. I'm like, oh my God. Like I said, our fingers are crossed. We found a couple. And we're not desperate yet, but we're getting there because we're getting really tired of either getting outbid or there's multiple offers we don't even stand a chance. It's such a pain in the ass. And we found one that we really liked, and we're like, you know what? We looked at other houses. We kind of put them in order. We saw 6. We're like, let's put them in an order that we want to get them because obviously this isn't going to work. And we're kind of in the negativity zone. We're kind of like, we're not going to get that one. Let's just, let's try it. But when it's not going through, we'll have this one kind of thing, like a backup upon a backup. And we found this house. We went through it. We loved it. We're like, all right, there's something wrong. It had a pool. It had all this. I'm like, there's something wrong. I was like, there's got to be. I was like, it's not that they weren't overpriced. They were actually pretty reasonable. And we told our real estate guy, we're like, hey, put an offer in. This is what we want. We want to get this one. And I said to the wife, I was like, something's going to happen. I was like, it's just, because we were having like a pretty good time. We were having fun at the convention. And I was like, luck was kind of playing a part in things. I'm like, something's going to happen. I was like, we're not going to get it. And like a couple hours later, the real estate guy called us back and said there were offers on the house already. Or an offer. So we're like, all right, well, what do we do? He's like, well, what do you want to do? He's like, do you still want to go ahead and put the offer in? Or do you want to just, I was like, you know what? At this point, I was like, give it a shot. So we put an offer in. We didn't hear back, for a while, a couple hours, an hour, apparently late last night, the real estate guy got in contact with us, like sent an email. And this is where it begins. Like I said, it's kind of like, And usually I'm starting to become a house expert now. When you're looking to buy a house, you want to make sure it has a good roof. That's number one. You want to make sure it has no leaking. That's number two. You want to make sure it's like sound. Like, it has to be, there's like nothing really wrong with it. Or if it's something wrong with it, if it's minor, you're good. So apparently the real estate guy called us back, an email and said, hey, this is what's going on. This is what I found out about this after I put the offer in. They haven't accepted anything yet from the other person or us. It's kind of like he's like, they want you to put in your best offer. Like, I guess, not that we lowballed. We didn't lowball them at all. We actually wanted to pay more than what they're asking because we really wanted the house. And the real estate guy's like, yeah, they'll definitely give you the mortgage for that much. You know, you can do it. Do you want to do that? We're like, yeah. I think we put like maybe like $200 over what they were asking, just to try to kind of, get the deal. And this place, like I said, it was nice. It had a really nice kitchen, had a huge backyard. It had the pool, which I was like, all right. Had this really cool deck that was built into the pool, which was amazing. The rooms they weren't huge, but they weren't crappy. Like they're workable. They were kind of about. One of them was the same size as my cave upstairs, so I was like, all right, that's cool. At least I know my stuff will fit in there. And the other one was a little itty bitty smaller, but not by much. So I was like, all right, that would be a good comic room. And I was like, the living room was pretty damn big. It had a dining room that was nice. It had all this stuff. And I was like, this is amazing. Now, here's the problem. Like I said, like I told them, there's something wrong. There's something, The problem is the house was built in 91. And these are the original owners, which is good. But nothing was ever fixed from 91 on. Like, a lot of things were redone. Like, the kitchen was redone. Other things, like the floor was redone. So it's not that it wasn't fixed. It's just that they never... Oh, excuse me, I got hiccups. The roof is the same. So that's a 24-year-old or something like that roof. Or 25... 24-year-old roof. And the water heater and the air conditioning, the central air, is the same age. Like 24-something years old. So the real estate lady... the wife got me up early today. Like I said, I've been up. I'm just like, oh god. She got us. She's like, we have to call them. We have to. She wants to talk to us. She's like, I'm gonna have to be late for work to do this. And I'm like, all right, well, let's talk about it. And she goes, do we go ahead? Because the real estate lady's like, if you want the house, let's put our best offer in there. It's gonna be a little more than what you're originally gonna do, but you might have a shot at it. And I was talking to the wife. I was like, I was like, she's like, do we gamble on this? She's like, it's a 24-year-old roof, and heater and everything. She's like, because this, with our luck, like I said, it might sound stupid, but with our luck, the day we move in, it'll start to leak, the air will go off. I was like, that just, it sounds like a lot of people they're like, oh, you're such a pessimist. I'm like, but that's what happens. It's not like I just came up and said, hey, it might happen. It's gonna, it's just the way. The wife and our luck is like we'd be like everything would be fine. The second we move in, everything would break down. And I told her I was like, we don't have the money to fix the roof. I was like, we don't have the money to have a new roof. We don't have the money for a new air system or a new water heater. I was like, so if that breaks before we have time to save up and pay for it, we're screwed. And I said, I was like, I'm not trying to say no to the house. Like I really love the house. I did. I was like, I think it's an amazing house. I was like, but that's the problem right there. I was like, because we don't have the money to do that. So I was telling her, because this is true. This is totally true. This is not like I'm making this up. With I said to her, I was like, we might luck out. I was like, it's a 24-year. I was like, let's just say 25-year roof. I was like, my grandmother's roof went for 30 plus years before it had to be fixed. Not completely redone, but fixed. And she's like, well, what does that mean? I was like, well, quite honestly, like I said, my father was in construction. He has his own construction company. And I said to her, I was like, this is what happened. I was like, 30-something years. I was like, my father was telling me, this is when I think I was like 15 or something like that. Because my grandmother had the house since like 39 or something, or earlier than that. Maybe like 1935 or something. She had it for 30 plus years, and then the roof started to get a leak over by the top bedroom, my uncle's room. I can't remember what side it was, but anyway, and it started, a little drip here, a little drip there, no biggie. But then they got a bad rain, and it's, So my father went up there, ripped off a few shingles, put something, I don't know what he did. He did something else, and then put just 2 new shingles on there, and that was it, and it was fine for another freaking, I think another 10, 15 years. And then we had, it wasn't the roof that went. It was something like the gutter was starting to, which was nothing. That was an easy fix. So I said to the wife, I was like, you don't know. It depends on. I was like, all right, it was built in 91. I was like, but you don't know what kind of shingles they use. I was like, and that's basically what it is. Certain shingles last for 20 years. Certain shingles last for 10. Some could last 50. I mean, I remember talking to my uncle one time, and he said that the original house he bought, the shingles were 50 years old, and he still hasn't had a problem. So, like I said, I was like, we could luck out. We could luck out, and nothing would happen. Because she's like, all I need is, maybe a year. I know it sounds like a long time, which it is in a way. She's like, all we need would be like a year or two to save all our money so that we can redo it. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, we could luck out. It could happen. I was like, but then again, it could go the other way. And like I said, the day we move in, we have like some major storm, and the roof is shot. And I was like, then you've got water everywhere. And I was like, then we're screwed. I was like, but it also depends on what kind of damage. I was like, you don't know. I was like, it could be a simple shingle fix, like you pop off one or two and fix it, and that's the end of it. I was like, but then it could turn into real damage where you don't notice it, and then all of a sudden your ceiling is getting ready to cave in because of all the water that's up there. I was like, so that's what I'm saying. We're crossing our fingers. We're kind of rolling the dice on this because she's like, I really do love the house, and the other one we saw, which we liked, I called it the Beetlejuice house because it was like black and white. It just reminded me of Beetlejuice for some reason. I don't know why. We liked that one too, but that one was a foreclosure, and they didn't say there was anything wrong with it. But when we looked through it, like the tile in the kitchen was all ripped up, it was all shot, but everything else was fine. It was just the kitchen, and then like all the appliances were dented, and I'm like, this somebody had a party in here. Like the deadbolt to the back door was broken off, and they had like something fixed on it. So it needed work too, and I was like, either way, I was like, it's a lot cheaper on that one than it would be. Plus the foreclosure one was like I think like 60 grand cheaper than what we're looking at with this one. But like I said, after talking to the wife, I was like, she's like, do you want to do it? She's like, I kind of want to do it. She goes, but I'm really afraid because, like I said, this is our first house. This is a major, 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 major purchase. And if we buy it, we're stuck. Like, there's no, like, oh, well, we don't want it now. You can't. Like, once it goes through, that's it. Like, you're on your own. And we're kind of like I said, we're like, throwing the dice. And we both agreed. We said, screw it. We're getting really tired of looking. Every time we find one, there's always something wrong with it, or we always get outbid. And she's like, you know what? She's like, the hell with it. She's like, I'm going to tell the real estate agent to go ahead and give her. We really went up. Like I wasn't going to say the price, but let's get into it. The people wanted 148 or 149. I think it was 149. We put in for 150. We're like, we'll do $100 more than what they're asking. Maybe we'll get a shot. Now, the other offer, we don't know. We don't know what it is. They could have really lowballed them and went lower, and we were a good offer. So it's kind of like there's a roll right there because we don't know what they offered. Like, if they offered 147, we offered 150, like, we already got the house. But the real estate lady's like, we don't know. They haven't accepted anything yet. So she's like, so it's probably pretty even. She goes, otherwise they would have accepted that. She goes, or they're playing it cool and trying to get more money out of everybody. She goes, because they see that you're already doing 150. So the wife and I were like, you know what? Like I said, we said, screw it. We're going to roll the dice on it. We're going to go after this house because it's near a lot of things. I could transfer my job to another area right there. There's another one that I'm working at. I'm like, I could easily do that. I was like, it's cheaper than, driving all the way back because it's like a good 45-minute ride from where I am now. And we said, screw it. So we put in for 158, which is, like I said, our max is 160. And I said to the wife, she's like, would you want to do like 158? I'm like, I guess. I was like, we'll give it our best shot. I was like, but no higher than that. I was like, I wouldn't feel comfortable higher than that because I don't want to pay that much money. And we'll be paying a lot on our mortgage, and then all of a sudden the roof collapses. I was like, at least if it collapses now, you got some leeway, I guess, or something. I don't. So we put in 158, and we're waiting to see what happens. We don't know when they're going to get back to us. We don't know what's going on. Chances are the next video I'll make, I'll be telling you we didn't get the house. So we'll see. But like I said, fingers crossed. And I've explained a lot. I've gone into a lot. And if you've watched this whole thing after the comics, thanks. I wanted to ramble a little bit, get it off my chest. But we'll see. Like I said, it's up in the air. I'm kind of hoping we get something because the clock is really, really ticking now. And not many are coming around. It's getting fewer and fewer. We've gone through like so many of them where it's just like, oh man. And then like another one we saw real quick, really awesome. It had a basement. It had all this stuff. It was great, but it was in the boonies. Like, it was so far out of our way. I was like, there were no stores near it. It was a good 20-minute drive to the nearest store, which was a gas station. It wasn't even a food store. We don't even know how far away a food store was. And then it would be at least an hour and change to get to work. And I was like, it's just not like we let her. She's like, I like it. She's like, I just don't like the fact that it's like in the middle of the woods. Like basically, that's what it was. And I was like, I really do like it too. I was like, the woods don't bother me. It's just the fact that I don't want to drive an hour and some change to get to work. I was like, and then work like 10, 15 hours and have to drive back. I was like, it's just rough. So that one we didn't. That's like our backup. um, but hey, but yeah, that'll do it for this lovely episode, show, whatever it is. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, thanks you for letting me ramble on about stuff. Um, but I really did have a good time at the convention. It was fun. I'm glad the wife had a really great time. She loved it. Um, Besides the annoyances here and there, she did have a great time. She got to meet the guy she wanted to meet. Um, she got all her stuff signed. She talked to him. She was, I haven't seen a smile on her face in a while because we've been so stressed out with all this stuff. She's just like, I was like, and that's the point. That's what I really wanted to do more than anything else. Not just for her to have fun, but to have her forget about everything else that's going on. Like I wanted her just to kind of like zone it out, like just let it go, don't worry about it, have fun, let's have a good time, and that's what did, and it worked. She kind of feels a little rejuvenated. She's like, hey, I feel better. I'm like, see. um, but yeah, that's it. So thank you all for watching. Remember, it's not the size of your cave that matters, it's what you have in it, and I have a lot of bag of boarding to do. Good God. Later, everybody.